So you became a homeschool parent. 7 ways for you to minister to your child during Coronavirus University. Number 1, don't talk about your child as though this is their fault. They did not most likely bring coronavirus or COVID-19 or whatever it's called here. So it's not their fault. You should not be talking about them on social media or to their face or behind their backs like this is their fault. They don't want to be homeschooled, the majority of them, and you don't necessarily want them to be homeschooled, and yet that's the situation we're in. So don't talk about them that way. Instead, talk about your children as a blessing. Scripture says children are a blessing from the Lord. You get the extra time to spend with them, and so talk about them and to them as though they are a blessing. Number 2, and this one comes from my mother-in-law. Actually, the majority of these come from my mother-in-law because she homeschooled 7 children at one point or another. 7. And so she can give better advice than I can. So number 2, establish a consistent morning routine Monday through Friday, just like they would have at school. And so she recommends, and some of the teenagers might not like this, but she recommends that you wake up between 7 or 8, 9 at the latest, not sleeping in till 10, and getting started with the day, whether it's schoolwork that they've been assigned from school, or chores, or morning devotions, or something to that effect. Get started a consistent time each morning, Monday through Friday. Number 3, involve everybody in the household chores. And the moms right now, who are stay-at-home moms, are cheering when I say that. But involve everybody. Part of this situation is learning to be a family unit in a different way than perhaps we had before. So involve everybody in the household chores. My mother-in-law would often have kids team up to race who could clean the bathroom first, and then they, get points or whatever to see who does the best. You could assign each child an individual chore and say when everybody is done with this, we can have a reward. But have everybody helping out with the chores. There's more people in your home for more time throughout the week now, and so your house is going to get messier. So have everybody together doing the chores together. Number 4, don't freak out if your kids don't learn the same way or as quickly as they did when they were in the classroom. And what you need to understand is teachers will often teach in units, and so they might spend a day or 2 or sometimes even a week on a specific topic. And so when students are asked to switch over to online format, that may take them longer, or it may seem like they're getting that work done faster, but the quality of understanding might change either better or worse. So be patient with your children and students because they are having to adjust to this format of learning as well. So don't worry if they're not getting a concept right away, or if they're struggling in a subject that they didn't necessarily struggle with before. But at the same time, hold them accountable to work hard at the studies they've been given. And for the parents, be an example of that in the home. If you're working from home, work at home. If you're having to have different chores or responsibilities during this time, then rejoice in those rather than complain, and show and be an example to your students and your children of hard work even when it feels strange being stuck at home. Number 5, take this extra time to teach your kids some life skills. The advantage of homeschooling is when they get their schoolwork done, they're now instantly bored. Well, let's face it, they were bored before that anyway. So teach them how to change a tire, how to check the oil, how to mow the lawn, how to plant a garden, to make art, to do the dishes, to fix something. Hey, it's tax time. Teach your kids to do their taxes, but please check it before you send it out. But just learn some life skills. Have your kids plan the meal and let them cook it from start to finish. Don't step in. It may be bad, it might be good, it might be better than what you're usually making, who knows. But have your kids make a meal and plan out that meal, and don't step in, but afterwards teach as to how they could do things better. Also, don't eat chicken that's undercooked, but just let them cook the meal. Number 6, learn to get along with each other again. And some of you would say this week has been extremely stressful because it's the first full week where we're being quarantined and all that. But relearn to get along with each other. Play games where either the whole family wins or the whole family loses. Learn to communicate, sit down and talk. My mother-in-law suggested setting aside media and technology for a set amount of time each day so that you have to learn to talk Whew. Number 7, take time to serve somebody today. And you might ask, how are we supposed to serve somebody else during COVID-19 2020? Well, you can write an encouraging note to somebody. We have people who are shut in right now at nursing homes or independent living facilities where they're not allowed to leave and people are not allowed to come visit them. And so maybe you could find somebody and write them a note. My grandfather is stuck in his assisted living place, and so I would encourage people to call their grandparents or great-grandparents or somebody that they know in the church and encourage them. Write them a note. You could go shopping for somebody if you have not been ill. You could potentially start making masks. By the way, that's learning a life skill. You can learn to sew and then make masks that can be delivered to hospitals in the area that are seeking to get those. And so take time to serve somebody other than yourselves. That instills humility in you and in your children, and it just helps people deal with this situation as best they can. So take time to find a way to serve somebody. That's 7 or 8 or whatever number I ended up with, ways that we can be homeschool parents that are raising our children to love the Lord and honor God in our work at home. Have a great week. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to Your C3 on the YouTube.